So far, the D&D is Fake series of videos has focused on how D&D is fake, as well as my complaints about the various excuses people have for not playing the game. In this video I want to talk about the why. Why do so many people who claim they would give almost anything for one more adventure do everything they can to avoid it when given the chance? I can't answer that without being a mind reader, but this video is going to be my speculation on why I think this is happening and something I'm going to call the Stranger Things effect. In order to explain it, I want to talk about two things. First, my hatred of pauses. I used to say I hate pauses more than I should, but someone I know explained to me that hating pauses is justified because they ruin things, either the thing itself or the community around it. Personally, I see no problem with people getting into things when it's popular. If Oblivion or Skyrim was your first Elder Scrolls game, I don't see the problem. The first game, Arena, only sold around 20,000 copies according to Wikipedia. Skyrim sold 30 million according to Wikipedia. That means only about 1 in 15,000 people who played Skyrim could have played Arena back in the day. I say this because, let's be brutally honest, no one really cares if you've played Arena or not. What is there to really gain by lying about having grown up playing Arena? And there's nothing really to be gained by getting in people's faces if they say they played Skyrim before Arena. And if you're both lying and getting in people's faces about it, then that's just stupid. Which brings me on to Stranger Things. Not Stranger Things, but a Netflix show called Stranger Things. I have no interest in this show. I've heard of it mainly from American friends who say that I should drop everything and watch it straight away, but the people recommending this show to me do a bad job at selling it. I don't know what the show is about, for a start. All I ever hear is, they reference the Goonies. Remember the Goonies? They ride chopper bikes. Remember chopper bikes, Saber? They listen to a boombox. Weren't boomboxes great? I miss boomboxes. Those who know my old rant content will know I'm not big on nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, so the idea of a show where the only appeal is various 1980s references, that doesn't interest me. It's at this point fans will say there's more to the show than 80s references, but they are unable to tell me what the appeal is. I think it's telling that when I asked a couple of fans to summarise an episode, they couldn't. All I got was that there was a character named Perfect Hair. Now, just to be clear, I'm not complaining about Stranger Things. I just assume that the people who like it are selling it to me poorly, or are getting a different kind of enjoyment from it than what I'm looking for personally. It reminds me of Fred Perry's comic Gold Digger, which I ignored for years because people tried to sell me on it by saying, there's a hot tiger woman in it. It turns out that it's an almost Indiana Jones-esque action-adventure comic with lots of fantasy and sci-fi elements. Just describing the premise was a far better sell to me than, it's got a hot furry in it. But if you read it for the hot tiger ladies, then more power to you. Different strokes and all that. I mean, I'm certainly not opposed to hot tiger ladies in any comic. Anyway, back to RPGs. At this point you've likely put two and two together, or in this case you've put the title and the previous things I've talked about together. Stranger Things apparently features Dungeons and Dragons as one of its nostalgic references. I've not seen Stranger Things, so I don't know the specifics, but apparently it's referenced a lot. There's also the popular YouTube channel Critical Role. That's the show that led to the so-called Matt Mercer effect I talked about in the last video. Apparently there was a large influx of normies into the RPG scene because they had seen D&D played on these shows, and again, I have no problem with that. My own interest in RPG games was based on my own limited experiences as a kid, and because of the nostalgic stories from the players that I met, as well as the show called Counter Monkey. But I can kind of see how this caused the fake RPG player problem. Posers who saw the game on Stranger Things, read some funny stories on 4chan and Reddit, and then tried to be king nerd by swapping these war stories as if they were their own, only to be caught with their pants down when someone, i.e. me, unknowingly called their bluff. Presented with the very real possibility of having to play the game, better to throw every excuse they can to get out of playing than risk being revealed as a fraud. That's not to say that Stranger Things is the only cause. I've been ranting about how D&D was fake for years now, but my failed attempts to actually play RPGs go back further than that. But it seems reasonable to me that posers wanting to be like the kids on Stranger Things could be the cause of the mass flakes that I've encountered over the years.